Hey guys, this is Jeff, and I am thrilled to be back for part 4 of the unboxing of this magnificent, unbelievably gorgeous, and feels so right Pagan Otherworlds deck. The imagery, as we've seen, compared to my beloved original riders, have been very interesting, changing a lot, going into a lot more depth of meaning, I feel, in a lot of the cards. And I have not seen any of these cards of the sword suit, but we're going to go about the same patterning that we've done before, with just comparing the Otherworlds card with that of the the riders, my beloved hand customized painted rider deck. I get very excited about it. So we're talking about the swords. Beautiful 14 cards of the swords. This is all mental activity. There's a lot of cards of conflict in the swords, and I think whenever we understand the nature of how our mind can serve us and not, and it usually traps us into not serving us, it makes sense that the imagery is exactly the way it is in these 14 cards. So let's just dig right in. Let's not waste any more time. I'm not going to be concerned about the time. All right, I don't know why I get so stressed about the time and making videos a certain length or whatever. So, this may be however long it is. I don't know. I figure, you guys are probably listening to a fast speed anyway. So I'm gonna just take the pressure off myself. I want to share that with you. I've already told Jack Daniels, look, man, I'm not going to be worried about the time. He doesn't care. He's here for the long haul as well. So here we are. Let's just get rolling with the first card. We know what we're talking about already. All right, we're talking about these Ace of Swords. Let's see what the new card has here for you. Oh, well, it's not very different at all. Look what we got here. Look what we got there, guys. All right, it's coming from the same side. Still have the 6 yods on either side. Still to read the crown. All right, piercing the illusion. I like to think of that crown almost as like a mirror, you know what I mean? Using your thoughts to just be able to think straight and be able to kind of wrap your mind around something accurately and appropriately. It looks like the landscape is about the same. Is that snow? It looks like it's a little bit snowy. Now, that's interesting. See, in this deck, in the original deck, it's only that 5 of coins that has snow on it. Here we've already seen, where else do we see that? Here in the Hermit card. Oh, this is kind of interesting now. It's almost as if this is the land of the Hermit. This is the land of where you go to contemplate your life, what it means. In other words, what this guy's doing is probably using his sword energy the most. I wonder if that's why. That's over this same type of landscape that this guy's actually in. It's almost sort of like a foretelling that in order, there's a lot of illusion down here. There's a lot of missed associations. There's a lot of confusions down there. But if you wanted to sort of get the essence of this brand new way to like kind of cut through the illusion, it's sort of almost foretelling that this is a necessary step. I like that. Interesting. Snow down there. I'll be damned. I would not have expected that at all. Well, I like that. And I like how it gives homage to the Hermit card. Is there any other snow in the majors? I have the majors set out before me, and I still haven't shuffled this deck either, which I just can't believe that I have their strength to not really get all these cards messed up. All right. So anyway, okay, that's the swords. I wonder how else that's going to come into play. Let's find out. Here we're talking about the 2, right? Choices, balance, unions. This is obviously about balance. This is most definitely about choices. Let's see how it's going to look right here. Over the water, removed from the water, not in the water. Like this is a bit of a platform card. We talked about that in the other suit. Where it's a bit removed, which is literally having this position of using these swords of, or holding these swords of, I guess you could say, fear and anger is how I've looked at them before. How it kind of keeps you removed from just dancing down there or getting involved in life. Here we have the 2 swords, just kind of up, away, definitely centered smack dab in the middle of the card, like we had seen with a couple of the majors, how this world right there is smack dab in the middle of the card, and how this Hanged Man is smack dab in the middle of the card, but all the other ones are sort of down closer to the earth. All right, we talked about how temperance is sort of down in the earth. Here we kind of get the idea that it's still a platform. Whenever you're bound to these things that you're thinking about involving generally fear and anger, is just is pretty easiest way to kind of remember this card, how it's holding you back from experiencing life fully. You have the blindfold now turning into what looks like just a sash. And interesting enough, you know what? Because this is the illusion of you not being able to move because you're so unbelievably, uncomfortably holding these things which are crossing your heart and not being able to sort of get that green aspect of the empathy and love that is intended to be shown to the world with your heart. Here we have the crossed over swords themselves, but at first glance, it looks like this little sash is holding the swords together, but whenever you look at it, just like this card, there's really nothing holding you to this position of not being able to move forward. It just gives the appearance, and that's exactly what it's like whenever you are just, you can't move, whenever you can't make the choice, whenever you can't find balance, and just being able to use your mental activity to just sort of put those things down and be able to step forward. Look at the moon imagery there. Again, this shows better in the camera than it does. It's very subtle in person, but on the camera it hits the right sort of thing to be able to get the moon on there. I haven't had much association with what that moon means. Maybe you guys can share with me. I'd like to be able to add my I'd like to be able to, add a little bit of my understanding with what you guys have. I mean, obviously the moon card is moving forward, I feel, amongst still having your fears into life. Maybe that would be the best sort of way to kind of consider this card. Now, I also suppose that's the most appropriate, that moon influence, right? Remember this here, that's sort of, with the beasts, still kind of getting back into it. Maybe after you put those swords down, you still will always have the shadows of what life would be like if that's all you did was think about the fear and the angers in your life and literally stifling you and keeping you up and away. Beautiful imagery. Beautiful. Thank you, Missy. Miss Two of Swords. Wonderful. I love it. I love it. All right, moving on to the 3. This 3 freaks a lot of people out. I feel it's just such a symmetrical and such a beautiful card. I painted that purple because whenever I see this 3, I just feel like it's an opportunity to just realize how much capability you have to love whenever it's lost. And I'll be damned here. Oh, for a second I thought that was a purple cloud as well. For a second I thought that was a purple cloud as well. Again, it's perfectly symmetrical. Where are those swords poking? Okay, they're poking through the front. And it does look like that sword smack dab in the middle is the most dominant one, is the most, large, heavier, dense. Considering how the other imagery, the other things, like the wands, remember how we talked about how the most ornate, the most big, thick wand was sort of representing you? This kind of gives that nice inference, to use that same sort of, justification, that one in the center is sort of you. You can sort of see the effectiveness of others whenever you're sort of in this particular 3 of Swords state. And I'll be damned, it does look a little purple, doesn't it? It does look a little purple. I still find this is a beautiful card. All right? I might link below. I got a little post-it note down here. I'm going to put down particularly interesting cards, and I'm going to post down in the description below to relay into my series that I just love talking about each card so much more in depth, because I could be going off like crazy on each of these cards. But let me just do the 3 of Swords, and I'm going to link that below, because I talk a lot about how whenever it comes in reversed, it's kind of like taking pain and turning it into suffering, and how it's okay to experience pain, but you don't want to suffer from it. So we're going to link that below. Beautiful imagery. Nice, full, voluptuous heart. That's great. I knew that card couldn't have been very much different. It still has the rain. It still has the rain. And what else is striking me from it? Other than really the biggest difference in this card is that the swords are coming through the front of the heart, where here they're sort of coming through the back of it. You can go deep on that a little bit. You guys have some time on that. You can infer some stuff from there. You know, that whenever you're going through this phase, man, you're also showing it to every, you know, you're presenting it to other people. It's literally, you know, as you're walking around in that particular state, how it affects other people. Maybe that's what those two smaller swords are, is how the interaction, the group interaction, is affected by one of the people in the group having this sort of feeling going on within them. All right, I didn't expect that to be very different, and I'm actually kind of glad that no crazy thing is coming through that. Okay, the 4. Oh, okay. The 4 of Swords, you know, where it's about, well, I love that, you know, 4 is all being about the structure and foundation of the nature of the quality of the suit. And, you know, whenever we consider this knight here, rejuvenated here, this is what all the masters did. You know, whenever they have a problem, they just sort of escape it. They get rid of it. They do something mundane until they allow, you know, the answer to form. And we have that one sword totally removed. I just love the imagery of this original one, where those really aren't real. Those are sort of just like outlines, you know, where the other ones, they're more three-dimensional. These are two-dimensional. And this is kind of cool. I like that that almost kind of blends in. The bottom one kind of blends in so much with the landscape in there. There's a little house in the background. Perhaps that's the house, this character, that this knight is resting in there, that little house. And there's that damn rock again. There's another rock. You guys have seen my lifestyle vid, you know, I love stacking rocks. And I still haven't found that one thing is going to click for me with why there are certain rocks in this Otherworlds deck. That wood, that log is completely dried. We've seen in the other card where there was some alive part of the wood and some dead. I forgot. I think that was in the wand suit, one of the wands cards. Right? The importance of just, look, when you got a lot of stuff, you got it removed from yourself. Meditate, get away, do something mundane, do something fun. It's a beautiful card. How close can I get there with you guys being able to appreciate that oil-esque painting? I bet they did use oils on this. Unbelievable. The 3 on the top are totally symmetrical, just like the 3 here. What a wonderful translation. What a wonderful translation. I'm going to allow the opening up of a space to really sort of, with that log, to be able to come in there. Maybe by the time I post this video, I'll have this amazing lightning inspiration. It'll be too late because I can't share it with you then. So by the time you see this, maybe I know exactly why that log is there. Wonderful. I love a 4. Okay, we're getting into 5. Life's difficulties. Here we go. Talk about what comes natural for the sword suit is having this kind of situation come up for you. And I had actually a bit of a part of a dream a couple nights ago, just about that whenever we look around us and we sort of, I mean, whether you're associated to that person or you're kind of thinking about those other guys in the back with the traditional deck, I kind of think almost it's just looking at the reality as you have it, as you see it, and it's not really truly understanding that the reality that you're living is already old news. It's sort of getting stuck in there. I think that's the real message for this 5, of this life's difficulty in this particular suit, is that whenever you're, especially whenever you're trying to change your life, trying to do something grand or just become more stable yourself, that as you view your current circumstances as being so real as like they're locking you in, I think what you're doing is like you're 5 swording yourself, because that's already old news. And I think whenever this card comes up, this has really been the inspiration. I did a reading this morning. I have another one coming up in about 45 minutes. And if this card comes up, I think that is so ripe to be plucked. That meaning of just looking around you and just thinking that this is just the way it is. Those reality tellers, you know. Well, this is just reality, and I have no interest in what reality is. I'm interested in what reality is going to be for me. So if you tend to get stuck and locked in kind of the reality that you're seeing yourself in, maybe you're kind of forgetting that that's already chewed food, you know. Imagery's sandy, it's beachy, it's kind of, we get that a little bit there. 2 swords are stuck in the ground. These 3 of swords, how interesting, how wonderful that those swords are in the same patterning just about as this. So less affecting the heart center, but more just like a situational type of thing. Right? Not like an emotional thing, but just like the situation is causing heartache. And then those two swords, I'll come up with a wonderful thing later for those for myself. I love that. I like how those three swords are so reminiscent of this. Right? You're looking around you. You're just seeing this in your current situation. Maybe it's just time you sort of, kind of know that, you can pick those other things up and rearrange them differently. I like the clouds also being very reminiscent of this, kind of sharp, kind of jagged. I dig that. I dig that 5. All right, moving on to 6. Ooh, here we go. Oh, very much the same imagery with this 6. Very much the same imagery with the 6. The idea that these heavy swords are sort of in your boat. Maybe they're helping you. This is the card of like communication and looking above you to see who's around you to assist you. Going into smoother waters is the traditional kind of boring interpretation of it. Things are looking up for you. But more importantly, that dominant, that really super big sword is this particular character just, I think, beckoning to just tell you there's help around you if you just turn around and look and see for it and look for it. Maybe sharing what's on your mind would be of benefit here. I think that's a great interpretation. And I'm glad that they kept the same rocky water, just with the assumption and the inference that that boat is moving forward. I'm going to link this video below too, just because I love the 6. We really get into a lot whenever that 6 comes in reversed. I'm going to have to do some deep thinking on this. Is there any particular order? Oh no, see, this is kind of interesting. That big dominant sword is kind of coming in from the back and going into the front of the boat. It's the only one that's not really in the boat. That's why I like to think about this card as that one that is not in your situation that can assist you, because here it's represented as it's not part of all these other things going on in the boat, all these other things going on in your mind that you can unload, because there's that one thing that's completely removed and coming in from the back forward to assist. All right? I love that big dominant sword not even being a part of the boat. Is there a sword in there? See, they're all in there. They're all in there. Just kind of, great imagery. Great imagery. Great. Okay, we're moving into 7. Ooh, this seems like a dramatic change. Okay, well, we got the little tent village. All right, got the little circus thing going on down there. Oh, guys, I don't even want to share this with you. I'm going to suck this in here for 2 seconds by myself. Yeah, see this clever like a fox? Look at this. Look, this still got the 2 swords standing. Bam, there it is right there. Bam. Well, how about that? How about that frame right there? Got the character sort of, maybe, maybe you're hiding something. Maybe something's depending on where this card comes up, maybe you're not catching the full view. Maybe there's a better way. Like this guy, there's certainly a better way to get all these swords, you know what I mean? I mean, what you're doing is kind of working for you. But check out that situation. I love how they just sort of add a sash, or, like in that, was it the 4 of... the 4 of Wands, they had that maypole with those really wonderful, all the different colors of the rainbow of the like ribbons, rather than the rainbow in the card in the traditional deck, and that flag / sail is sort of replacing the character, which we can kind of expect something would, because there's no characters in these decks. I think it's a pretty straightforward interpretation, Something you can't really see. You're not really getting the whole picture right there. Unbelievable imagery. Unbelievable. Still got the 2 standing. And again, with another platform card, this is more in current life reality right there. That's 7 right there. Action, victory, movement. That's what the 7 is. And I appreciate it and I love it. All right, talk about movement and the lack of movement. Oh, okay. Well, my immediate response to the 8 is that I miss the person. Of course, there's not going to be a person. That's not the kind of deck it is. but I kind of miss the feeling of not really anything is holding this person back other than all those things that are just sort of floating out there, all these mental things, all these thoughts that are holding you back. And that loose. I kind of miss that. I almost wish there'd be these set up like a fence, like clearly you can't get through, but like one of them's tilted, or maybe there's a gap between two of them, which clearly is the way through. But at first glance, you're like, man, I'm stuck. I'm immovable. The castle's there. It's reversed sides. There's no real marsh there. Is it kind of marshy? Because this just looks like wet dampness where you would get stuck. And this just kind of looks like it's on flat ground. No water at all. No water at all. I think we can go somewhere with that. No water. There's no subconscious, unconscious, higher truth. That's why that's so literally dry. Huh. I got a beautiful card anyway. You'll see that. You'll know it's an 8. I just kind of wish there was some sort of gate. Some sort of gate. All right, here we go. 9s. 9s. The abundance of the quality of the suit and the problems that arise from that. Look at these swords kind of coming up. It looks like the 8 of Wands, doesn't it? Straight away. But this is the 9 of Swords with that beautiful, is that a swan? The swan's kind of going the other way. The swan's sort of going against the current is what it looks like. Look at the waters. Sort of like like this swan's bucking the current. You know? All the swords are going this way. That guy's trying to go this way. Clearly the current is going that way because he's trying to bust through it. I think this card's also about choices, because what else would give you, just make you stay up at night, just considering, thinking, making pro-con list, how useless the pro and con list is. What's around that swan's neck? Holy hell, that's a leash. That's like a metal leash on that swan. Talk about going upstream. Talk about not being able to break free. Talking about literally almost being chained to bed. Pretty much, obviously, the swan's replacing this character not being able to move on. I mean, this cat here is going with all these swords. This one's here trying to go against it because all the swords are pointing in the direction where you don't want to go. Where you're thinking you want to go is this way. But you have all these thoughts just saying, nope, nope, yeah, no, don't want to go there. Don't want to make that choice. Or if you do make that choice, there's another one. Oh, wow. Check out that swan going against the current. And look at that being chained back. What a creative way to replace our poor character in bed, being unable to rest. Oh, 10. This is a scary card for a lot of people. Oh, yeah, of course there's a skull in there. Hell yes. Hell yes. Oh, we got that wonderful, like that grid formation. I'm going to have to soak this in here for a second, guys. With these thorns. Look what we do to ourselves whenever we just continue what that 9 is. This is what we do. We just don't hold ourselves back like it's in the 8. It goes beyond just keeping us up at night. It just absolutely stifles us, nails us to the ground. And that's kind of what that's like, isn't it? It's like a big fence. And it's a painful fence at that because those are thorns. Oh. And again, it's the death, because of the skull. The negative aspect of the skull. I love skulls because of their beauty and their symmetry, and that they represent really what life is really all about. I feel, anyway. You guys can give me shit on that if you want, but I love skulls. Look at that. It's just so much going on. They got those little hand guards. You got those hand guards that just makes it even seem more difficult to see your way through it. Talk about not being able to see your way through shit. Look at this card. Wow, man, you don't even have to count those swords. I know there's 10 there. It just looks like a cluster. Painful cluster at that. What a wonderful thing to put a thorn bush in there. That is simply a beautiful card. That is simply a beautiful card. Oh, low battery. Hold on a second. If you guys are getting this, let me close this. Okay, I got the low battery sign here. That's not going to hurry me, though. What's cool about this is that thing that's making it painful. I just figured this out whenever my low battery came up, so I don't know if it's going to cut off. But the thing that makes the situation super painful, like that, super painful, really isn't real. Look at that thorn bush. It's not, I don't know if you can catch it with the light, it's not even, those roots are only on the surface. You could like push that away, blow that away, kick that away, just like this. Seems like shit, smells like shit, probably tastes like shit, this situation. But you know what? You think, get your mind around it, and then just kick that bush away so you can kind of really then deal with what the hell you're dealing with. Oh man, so many layers. So many layers. Now we're getting into the quartz. Okay, the pages, the exploration and the study of the nature of the suit. There we go right there. Look at that. Same sort of stance. Same sort of stance. We're going to talk about the birds. I talk about a lot of the birds, and especially the sword suit. Like, you know, well, maybe we'll see with the queen. The queen and the king have the most significant number of birds. We'll see if they change those things around. The card of caution. You know, the study and the exploration of the nature of the suit is what the pages are. So if you're talking about mental things like the suit of swords, this would obviously mean caution. Rachel Pollack pulled that out, and I just adore it. I absolutely adore it. Here we kind of have still the head in the clouds. This is sort of, you know, maybe a little bit, definitely more page-esque, more in the study of, in the learning of, getting your mind around the, you know, how powerful your thoughts are, how powerful it is to be cautious, what a positive thing that is to be cautious before you're ready to act, and how it can be detrimental. I think that's pretty cool. But the most significant change that this is such more of an active sort of posture, and the head really isn't clearing the clouds. Well, like that, I guess, sort of isn't clearing the clouds either, but it's more direct with the page. What else can I see whenever I'm not sharing it with you guys? Oh shit, that looks like a tear. Does that kind of look like a tear on that page? Is it going to focus on, it may not focus on us both. Well, you're going to have to get the deck, guys. You should get the deck anyway. It's like swatting away all those birds coming in because he's just learning. He's just learning. All right. All right. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Go into the night. There we got the knight acting upon the nature of the suit. Look at that. The sign of courage. And then the other worlds. Jagged clouds, movement forward, swords pointed in the same direction that they're going, but raised above. Horses are going pretty quick. That's really nice. You can do a whole, I am going to do a video on just the horses of the court. I'm sure there's been a million of them out there already, but I just really, really, really enjoy the horses of the court. It tells you everything you need to know. The clouds being sharp. Interesting, now he's above the birds. Now he's above all these different pockets of information. Here, it's just sort of like, you're just sort of getting into it. You're almost sort of batting them away. You know what I mean? Which one do I trust? Which one do I do? Which one do I follow up on? Here, the knight's like, okay, now I got those things under control. Now let's sort of get forward. Let's get moving. Let's get in there. The card of courage. I dig that. I love, love, love that. I love that kept the clouds the same. And the clouds are at the same angle as well. Is our other worlds? Does not really have armor on, but definitely foot's protected. Got a crazy beard. That dude's a redhead. Yeah. Racing off. Oh, look, they kind of replaced these trees, the blowing trees, with a little weed. Fantastic fun that they must have had saying, how can we sort of pay homage to this, but also add to it a little bit? They must have had just a ball. Oh, my king is lost somewhere. I got the queen. I got to look for the king. Oh, hell. Oh, crapola. I hope that won't take too long. I have no idea how to edit these videos. All right, here we go. Look at the queen. Oh, look, I'm so glad they kept that sword going straight up and down, guys. I'm so glad it's just the ace and it's this now. They didn't do that with Justice, you know. That's the only 3 times that you see in a traditional deck that sword is straight up and down, thinking absolutely clearly. I kind of wish that was straight up and down, but whatever, okay. Clearly above the clouds. Clearly above the clouds. What's the bird situation? We've got a butterfly, looks like a dragonfly, and above her just one bird. Clarity of thought. Just remember how we said look at how the page is just kind of like, you know, all those things are sort of descending on him. And then here we go, we're kind of get above that. Now above the queen, oh my God, my most favorite queen. Now there's just clarity of thought as represented by the one bird, and just like here, one bird here, and then the sword straight up and down, and that's almost like a gift of that. Dragonfly is all I can sort of come to mind. Maybe it's a flower. Well, what's in here? What's in here? Oh, I know there's a butterfly down here. Beautifully ornate. Not a crown, it's like this headdress. Whew. This is almost like an offering, isn't it? Like the way her hand is? I mean, her hand is this way too. And I kind of take that as like, bring it on. It's with her left hand. Here, again, it's her left hand being offered to receive. And just saying, I'll filter through this. You know, she's the master, right? The master of the suit of cognitive thinking, of all the mental activity. And there's that queen. What's her feet in the clouds? Oh, see, she's well above the clouds. The clouds are at her feet. That is how clear she is. Oh, man. All right. Now, give me 2 seconds, guys, while I try to find the king. Oh, God, if I got to edit this video, that's going to be oh, here it is right here. All right, great. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We got this. Look at that. Look at that. And then here we go. This dude is like crazy covered with all kind of, what the hell, a bunch of hides? Oh, and look, he's wearing the lion. And good, he kept true. They kept true to the 2 birds right there, which means that he's in the king of the position, or he's in the king position, so he has to be the social, what am I trying to say? Oh, he's the decider, I guess you could say. So you have to take 2 things and bam, he makes a choice. And he chooses one right there. He chooses one right there. And holy hell, his sword's straight up and down. Look at that. This is the, okay. So in this sword suit, there's 3 cards with that sword straight up and down. Rather than in this deck, there's only 3 cards, 2 in the sword suit and that justice card, as I said. See? Here we have it just, you know what I mean? It's not, because I have to act. I got to move. I got to tilt that, and it is tilted to his right, which means moving forward, actively doing something. And this is straight up and down. Well, that's a nice addition. I'd like to see this king get some respect. Get this king some respect, guys. Above nature, stepping forward. Again, there's a butterfly, beautiful butterfly. The hand position is interesting, isn't it? The hand position is like the old school Hierophant, you know? That whole like, hey, trust me, but I know things that you don't, which is why he's the king and that's the ruler. I like that use of the hand. I like that use of the old deck Hierophant hand. Well, this has been a great pleasure doing this and seeing this. The butterfly, I think I mentioned that. Is that the snowy mountains again? There's no snowy mountains there? No, that's just clouds. And he's just, I mean, because he's sort of in the rolling thing, you know what I mean? Here, what else kind of card here, you know? I mean, he's holding the social responsibility for this suit of swords, so he has to make the choices. I love how they kept the two birds in this. Absolutely magnificent. Well, guys, and look at that. It's only 33 minutes long. Not that I was concerned, but what a wonderful observation, that it's not outrageous. Got little creatures in there, too. Got little creatures in that little weed thing. Looks like a little lizard in there. No, we can really, really, really honestly go crazy into, you know, his feet and why his foot's turned like that. But you know what, guys? If you just get this deck and just Just check it out for yourself. I got one more suit to do. I don't think I'm going to get a chance to tape this today. Hopefully I'll upload this tonight. It takes 9.5 hours to upload one of these damn videos. But anyway, what a great pleasure to show you the sword suit of the Pagan Otherworlds. I just can't wait. I might, well, we'll see how we go. But anyway, thank you for viewing. Share your comments. I'd love to know what you're thinking. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.